Welcome to Shawn Conrad Unscripted. Real talk about life, hustle, and building the best version of yourself. Let's go.
We represent. Relax your mind if you're extra tense. Catch this bug like Spidey sense and bounce to the beat because it's excellent.
Excellent.
We represent. Relax your mind if you're extra tense.
Are you an original? That's the question. Are you an original? Of course you are, right? We have different fingerprints, right? Our eyes, our retinas, none of us have the same patterns. So yes, we're original. But I feel like over my life, I've added things from people into my life, and those ingredients from different people have made me who I am today. And I think about it a lot, how certain things from people that I either knew well or I didn't even know so well, certain things that I saw like really had an impact on me, like for a long time, for decades. And I'm thinking right now, recently, I was watching, I think it was somebody's podcast, and they had Aaron Rodgers on there. And I'm not even really a football person, but he was being interviewed, and I just happened to be glancing at it. And I noticed how poised he was just with every question that was thrown at him. Now, again, I don't follow football like that, so I don't know if the dude's not a good dude. I don't know, but I was impressed at how he received a question and it looked like he just really thought about it deeply and he proceeded to answer. And no matter how the question was framed, whether it was somebody trying to take a little shot at him or somebody trying to talk about something he did in the past, he never got flustered. It didn't seem like he took it personal. And no matter how the question was thrown at him, he just answered it in such a smooth way, taking his time with great poise. And I was looking at this like, I want to be able to do that. Like it was a superpower. You know what I'm saying? I was like, wow, because I hear everything, right? So I react a certain way. You know, if somebody's trying to take a jab at me or somebody's trying to be funny or trying to be a smart ass, like I'd react. And this guy was just like, that's something I thought about. And the truth is, and he didn't matter how the question was framed. And I was so impressed. And it made me think about other people who have made great impact on my life. I remember a long time ago, this was like years ago when I was rapping, and a bunch of us were outside of this club, and I happened to be standing a few feet away from LL Cool J. I didn't know him at the time. We didn't meet yet, but we were just standing outside. Everybody's trying to get in, trying to get situated, and a DJ, female DJ named Jazzy Joyce, had walked by. She came by. And LL, I remember at that time, LL was huge. He was huge. And Jazzy Joyce was known, but not as big. And I remember LL just going, "What's up, Joyce? Like, how you doing?" Just taking a moment to, as she was passing, because she didn't really look his way. But he just said hi. He was like, "Hey, what's up, Joyce?" And that sounds like something like really simple. But in my head at the time, I was thinking to myself, this guy's one of the biggest rappers on the planet. Does he even know who these other small little artists are? And no slight to Joyce, but she was just not as big an artist. And I feel like LL took a moment to be like, hey, now let me tell you how that impacted me. Today, I make sure, or I have this thing about me, when I see people that I know, even if I don't know them very, very well, if we're not tight, I will yell over to them. You know, when I say yell, I will make it a point to say, "Hey, how you doing, Dave? Great to see you." And I love that Dave, in this example, would look over, oh, wow, didn't even think you saw me come in. I learned that from LL Cool J. And I think it's dope. Why is it so dope to me? Because he showed me that if you know someone, if you see someone, like making that first gesture is important. Hey, I see you. I see you. I'm not on this high pedestal. I'm not Mr. This, Mr. That. I see you. How you doing? How's everything? How's your family? That's how I used what he showed me. Hey, how you doing, John? How's your family? You good? Okay, cool. And have John walk away like, wow, this dude noticed me walking by over there and still had some courtesy to say, hey, like that had a great impact on me. Great impact on me. You know, and then a year or so later, I ended up meeting LL Cool J, but I wish I would have told him how that impacted me, but I don't know. It might not have been the right moment or whatever, but he impacted me. I do that till today. That's how I am. I try to reach out and be like, hey, how you doing? When people least expect it. I just think it's dope. There's another artist, and I spoke about this before, another old school rap artist, Big Daddy Kane, years ago when we were hanging out for a while, and he was at his grandmother's house, and people who know Kane knows where that is in Brooklyn. It was just a few blocks away from my school, right? College I was going to, and during my breaks I would go over to Big Daddy Kane's grandmother's house where he was chilling, hanging out, and we just hang out. And I remember one day out of the blue, he was like, I don't have my car with me, whatever. He was like, can you give me a ride to my house? And I was like, sure. He was like, cool, I appreciate that. So we left his grandmother's house. We walked down the stairs and we exit the building and we're walking towards my car. And he's walking with me towards my car. And I felt compelled to say to him, hey, I'm not driving a BMW or Mercedes or anything like that. Because I just felt pressure. At the time, I felt pressure. I had just dropped one little single that was getting a little bit of play on the radio. This was Big Daddy Kane, one of the biggest rappers in the world. And I was like nervous or worried that he would be like, yo, I'm not getting in this car. So I said, listen, I'm not driving a Mercedes or a BMW. And he quickly, without hesitation, looked at me and said, it doesn't matter what you're driving. We're just trying to get from point A to point B. And I was like, okay. And we got in my little car. I believe it was a Buick. Was it a Buick Regal or something like that, right? No tinted windows, nothing. And he gets in and he's chilling. We're driving and I'm like, hey, I need to stop by my house for a second. Is that cool? Can we stop real quick? And he was like, yeah. Stop in my neighborhood. He gets out. We're walking down the street, walk up to my place. He's chilling, whatever. That whole sequence showed me like he not only helped me, but he helped other people that I would meet decades down the line. Because I have met people after that situation, after that time hanging out with Kane, where people would tell me, hey, I don't have a fancy house. I don't know if they would be embarrassed because they think I'm going to say something about their place or their car or how much money they have or something like that. And till this day, I learned from Kane that I always make people feel comfortable. Hey, I'm not looking at your apartment up and down, at your house up and down. No judgment here. You're good. You're good. You don't have to have a whole bunch of money. You're good. I learned that from Kane. So this is why I started this by saying, are you an original, or what are the things that make up you, right? Think about that. There's so many small things that I got from people that make me who I am today. The strangest situations that other people won't think anything about. They wouldn't think anything about it. Oh, I don't even remember that. I remember it because it made such an impact on me. That's why I always tell people, like, your journey is important because people are watching you even when you think no one is. because you can inspire. You can help give direction when somebody's stuck. There's so many. My friend Rob, I used to play handball with this guy in New York, Rob. Rob is like super duper athlete. He can play any sport. He's ridiculous. He plays any sport and he casually says, yeah, I'm entering this tournament at the highest level. And then he's seeded, but it's some sport that he didn't play since last year. He enters and then he'll like win it. You know what I'm saying? Like he's that guy, right? Rob, small situation, really quick. We're watching him play over at Brighton Beach and he's playing. Everybody's watching him. It's a big tournament. And he hits this ball while he's playing handball against this dude. And everybody goes, oh my gosh, what a great shot Rob just hit. And Rob says, I actually missed. I missed that shot, right? It was so fast. He hit the ball so hard, people couldn't tell that he missed. But Rob says, I missed. And my friend that was standing next to me said, he's so good, he calls a fault on himself. That's how good he is. And I was like, wow, like that impacted me. So I took that as an ingredient, added it to who I am, and I started to try to be that person. So I've met people after that who always say, oh, Shawn's honest. I can't believe Shawn called it against himself. I didn't make that up. I got that from Rob. Because my friend was like, this dude is so good, he can call against himself and still have confidence enough to win. That's dope. That's like a superpower. You know what I'm saying? There's just all kind of things. Even how people handle situations, right? Another guy that had an impact in my life, John, at work years ago, it was some type of situation where everybody was panicking, wondering, what are we gonna do, right, about this job that needs to be completed for this client? They called a meeting and everybody's in the meeting and everybody's saying this and that. I don't know what we're gonna do. We gotta try. And John is this guy who I guess is just so experienced that he can sit there while everybody is running around with flames on top of their head. He can sit there, legs crossed, fingers folded into each other, and just chill and just listen to everybody panic. And when everybody settles down from panicking, John would just say, this is what we should do. We should such and such. I'll stay late with such and such. We'll get it done overnight, and the client won't even know that we were here all night. They'll be happy first thing in the morning. And everybody's like, oh, that's a great idea. It's not even like rocket science, but I've never seen this dude panic about anything. He just thinks about it, digests it, and then he comes up with the solution. And then he walks off into the sunset like a superhero. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's so dope to me. So I try to add things like that into who I am. So for all those people who have been so gracious to give me compliments about, oh, blah, 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 Shawn this, Shawn that, thank you. But these are pieces of other people that I have been impacted by. You know what I'm saying? I've been really impacted by how these people handle certain situations. And I try, I don't know if I do it as good as the people I got it from, but I try to incorporate it into my life. So who has done that for you? Who has done that for you? Or you might just be that person. You might just be the person. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you one more. A buddy of mine was like, you and your daughter should come by the house for the 4th of July. We're gonna let off some fireworks at our house and it would be fun. I'm just having a small gathering. I was like, okay, all right, cool. Shoot me your address and I'll be there. I'll bring my daughters and we'll come. The navigation takes me to this house and I look at this house and I'm like, this can't be the house. I don't think this is the house. So I called my friend. I said, hey, I followed the navigation to this address, but I'm in front of this house. And the house I was in front of was this huge house. It was this huge house. I was like, wow, this is dope. So I called my friend and I said, hey, I'm at this address, but I'm not sure if I'm at the right place. And he says, I see you. I see you out in front. Yeah, park and come in. I was like, oh, wow. So I park, we go in, and we go to his parking garages. And I was like, oh. I was like, you have a golf cart? And he was like, yeah, you're on a golf course. And I was like, oh. And then I look, I see his SUV that he would always drive to the gym. An older or pretty decent, but not brand new SUV. But next to it, I see a sports car. And he says, yeah, I just like driving the SUV. And I'm like, wow. It made me think about all these people who go on social media showing off their little watch or their little gold chain. While people like this are like, yeah, I'd rather drive the SUV and leave the sports car in the garage with the golf cart that comes with the property because it's on a golf course. Wow, that was admirable. That was admirable. I was like, it just made me think, like, why do people brag about small things that some other people probably give away for free? Your little Rolex. Oh, that's so nice. You on social media, look at this, it's blinged out. There's people that give that away to their nieces or nephews or something. Like, bro. So I get shown these examples over and over again, and it helps to shape me, or it helps me to think about things in a new way, right? So yes, I try not to get too low. I try not to get too high. I try to be poised. I try to make sure that I do not behave like I'm above anybody, right? And I do my LL, hey, how you doing, Joyce? Hey, L. Because she didn't even see him. He made the gesture. He reached out, right? That's just dope to me. That's just dope. Who has influenced you? Who has influenced you, and how has it impacted you? How has it not only impacted you, how has it helped you? How has it affected your kids, your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, people around you at your job? How has it helped you? Or maybe in some cases, it might have damaged you, something that you saw. But think about these things that soak into your pores that become you, right? This puzzle that defines who you are today. Yeah. All right. Until next time, peace.
What?
Thanks for checking out Shawn Conrad Unscripted. Don't forget to subscribe, share this with a friend, and follow me at The Life of Shawn C. Until next time, keep building your best life.
We represent. Relax your mind if you're extra tense. Catch this bug like Spidey sense and bounce to the beat 'cause it's excellent.